July the 12th, 2012, 25 people are swept away by snow in the deadliest avalanche in a decade on Mont Blanc. You can come across someone behind a block that may still be alive, so we have to hurry to get to that level. It was a murderous summer. I see death, but I'm not looking anymore. I'm not looking. Michel Pierre, a pilot, is often amazed at the risks people take. This isn't a football pitch, this is a hostile and dangerous environment. One of them is very shaken. Yes, he looks stressed. We spent the summer with these men who give so much of themselves for others. We equipped them with mini cameras to see what they see, even in the most dangerous situations. We also put cameras on their helicopters to make sure that all their missions were recorded. The rescue teams in Chamonix don't know it yet, but they're about to experience their most dramatic day for 10 years. There's been a large avalanche on the Mont Blanc du Tacul, and many people have been hit. There are 4 dead apparently and several injured. The avalanche happened 4,000 meters up on one of the 2 routes leading to Mont Blanc, on the north face of the Mont Maudit, just an hour and a half earlier. In the summer, dozens of men and women set off every morning to take this route to achieve their dream of reaching the highest peak in Europe. This Spaniard was lucky. He was one of the first to be reached by members of the Gendarmerie rescue squad. It was an avalanche. Those in the front heading towards Mont Blanc stepped on a patch of ice, formed by the wind. It was very windy those days. And we were just below the patch, and there were at least, I don't know, 10 or 15 people swept away below us. I'm lucky because I was rescued quickly with a friend. I only have a broken knee. Are there many dead? There are a lot of dead. Survivors tell their stories, but 25 people were swept away by the snow that night. When there's a sheet of ice like that and it comes loose, it often causes a large number of casualties and major incidents. Among the injured is Daniel Rossetto, an experienced guide. You speak French, sir? Yes. Where were you injured? My shoulder. My arm was caught behind me. Okay, how about the rest of you? I have a broken rib too, I think. You tell me if it hurts. Is your arm okay? No, it's fine. The rest is fine. We'll check. It's this shoulder, right? The guide was with clients, 2 Danes, who also survived. It's okay, did you manage to clean it? They're taken to the hospital in Salange. The lungs of this survivor absorbed so much snow, there's a risk of his developing an infection.
We were walking up, and then the avalanche the snow and ice coming, just like this. And I'm just thinking, it's lucky that it didn't hit me, and then next second it hit us. I'm just lying like this to try to protect my head, and yeah, just hope. And but I think I'm gonna die. I'm sure I'm gonna die.
The first rescuers were on site by about 6 in the morning and recovered 12 wounded, but they also found 6 bodies. Is this a bad day? Oh yeah, it's a bad start to the day. So far there are 6 deaths. This is terrible. How do you stay detached when you see dead and injured people? I can see death, but I'm not really looking anymore. I'm not looking. It's one way to not to have to escape or dwell on people's misfortunes, even if we don't know them, actually. Well, we're called in to help. We're still human beings. It's no fun seeing people suffer. So far, the toll is heavy. 6 dead, 12 wounded, and 7 other climbers missing. It's 9 in the morning. The avalanche took place at 3:30, but there might still be survivors. Maybe the rescue dogs can help. Tons of snow from the avalanche are spread over 300 square meters and are more than 2 meters thick. Okay, team. Herbie, are you coming? You'd better get in with the rest of the line. Jan's job is to coordinate operations. Now, check between your legs, stand shoulder to shoulder, and one in front of each foot. We're trying to gather up all the info to know if there are others roped together underneath, because you never know, there could still be someone alive behind a block, so there's an urgency to it. Are there still people? Oh, we don't know. We don't have enough information yet. We're still trying to get details of who was up here. We need to get organized and hopefully find more survivors, but for the moment the outlook is fairly negative. Above them, a huge mass of snow. They know that it's unstable, and other avalanches could happen any time. This is Jan's main concern. Seriously, this stinks. Have you seen the barrier up there? I've got to think about that as well. This is generally a dangerous zone. It's a little off track, but there's always someone here, someone on the lookout. But for sure, there's nowhere that's entirely safe. Despite the risks, a large-scale operation is soon in place. The helicopters ferry in a total of 54 rescuers, the gendarmes, specialist crews from France's fire and rescue services, and Italian teams too.
Salut!
Hi, Lucio.
Vous venez à combien?
Jan, how many are you? Another 4 or 5? The Italians are helping out? The Italians have come to lend a hand. All the various French mountain rescue teams are involved now. The gendarmerie, the police, the fire services. Everything we have is being deployed, and coordinating everyone is a huge task. Searching to a depth of 3 meters has so far been fruitless. But one of the dogs seems to have picked up a scent. We're using the probe, and we're looking now to see if the dog has actually found something. We need to take a look. And less than a meter under the snow, a blue anorak. Dig! Search the bags for the shovels. Well, we can see the person has been roped up, so there must be others here. Any chance of finding them still alive? Well, we'll see. The doctor looks for any sign of life. climber probably died on the spot at about 5:30 that morning, as did his two companions, who were both tethered to him. Here's the second one. That brings it up to about 8 or 9 victims. Jan, can you confirm they're dead? Yes, I can. We're just recovering corpses now, so it's not the greatest thing for morale. It's hard to stay motivated all the way. The guys that are working non-stop now, you can see that they're passionate about their job. Let's hope we can find everyone, and maybe even find some more survivors.
On va trouver tout le monde et puis essayer de retrouver encore des survivants.
Ça va les gars?
Well done, lads. Let's keep going like that. Are they starting to get tired, the men? Some have been at it since 6 in the morning. And it's now 1 in the afternoon. Plus there's some wind up here. We're at 4,000 meters up, and if you're not able to keep going, then you shouldn't be doing this job. But human lives are at risk. We don't care about ourselves. We'll take stock of it all later, and we can rest tomorrow. Despite the sunshine, the temperature up here is 5 below zero. There's a risk of more avalanches, and there is no sign of the 4 missing climbers. By late afternoon, and after 12 hours of intense work, Jan calls off the day's search. Everything's been done, so we'll start getting people off the mountain, getting people down.
Ah, on va commencer à descendre du Mont Blanc.
The climbers know only too well the mountain doesn't always give up its dead. More than 150 people have simply disappeared in this massif. 150 people who have died because they wanted to look at something beautiful, you could say. Is it worth it? Yeah, well, after days like this, you have to ask yourself. But humans are programmed to remember only the good moments in life most of the time. We'll put that to one side, and then we'll carry on looking at the mountain in a different way. It's the worst such disaster on the Mont Blanc massif for more than 10 years. So far, there are 9 dead, 12 injured, and 4 missing. As the awful day of July 12 is about to draw to a close, there's finally some good news. The 4 missing people are alive. 2 had given up on the climb, and 2 others had taken a different route. Hello, this is the Gendarmerie Mountain Unit at Chamonix. Hello.
Allô? Bonjour, écoutez, je suis...
Yes, I'm at the Vallée Blanche, and there's someone who's fallen into a crevasse. Right, can you see him? No, can't see him, or hear him either. Okay, stay on the line, and we'll send up a helicopter, all right? All right, thank you. The call was from a mountain guide who was with a group of tourists who were heading down the Vallée Blanche for some off-piste skiing on a glacier. The glacier is strewn with danger. Under the wonderful-looking snow, there are hundreds of crevasses. If the snow crust is weakened, or if a skier pulls up in the wrong spot and the bridge of snow melts, it could mean a long drop to the bottom of the crevasse. Sometimes there are dozens of meters deep. Do you have a rope? Yes, we do. Well, you better fasten yourself at least. The man in the red jacket was the first to alert the rescuers. I spoke with him and he's got a broken leg. Where is he?
C'est comment son prénom?
What's his first name?
Okay.
Mike.
You listen me? Okay, what's happened? Qu'est-ce qu'il dit?
What's he saying? He said he's broken something.
Ouais. Est-ce qu'il a mal à la tête?
Does he have a headache?
Mets-toi ici.
Come over here.
Mike? Attention, attention, attention.
Careful, you're too close.
Tu vois? Oui, mais trop près, trop près.
The bridge of snow is fragile and extra caution is needed. The team leader is Eric, aged 35, 15 years in the service.
Mike! Mike!
Mike,
T'es sur le pont là.
You're on the
Va
bridge.
pas plus loin.
Be careful, don't go too far.
you have a headache? Have a headache? Okay, good.
Alors, donc qu'est-ce qu'il a?
So what's wrong with him? He's hurt. He's hurt.
Où il a mal?
Where? Which leg?
En fait,
Quelle
il est
jambe?
tombé.
Une jambe?
Which
Oui,
leg?
il a
One of his
les
legs
deux
stuck.
jambes, une jambe
The other's
qui est un peu
free.
coincée,
Ouais.
l'autre qui est libre.
He thought
Ouais.
he'd broken it,
Et
but
je sais pas.
it's not broken.
C'était cassé, mais c'est pas cassé.
D'accord.
How far down do you think he is?
Qu'il est là.
Je l'ai
I've
déjà
seen him.
vu, il
He's
est à
about 8 meters
10
down.
mètres.
8 meters down, maybe with a broken leg.
À une des deux
One of his
jambes,
legs really painful.
douleur
The man can't be lifted without some more help. Reinforcements arrive in the shape of a winch and 2 more rescuers. Crevasses on the massif claim some 25 lives a year. Sebastian, aged 38 and a father of 2, is the man who heads down.
Tu me tiens là, Eric?
Hey, Eric, hold on to me as I hook up.
Ok, Mike. I'm coming, ok? Ok. Tu me dis quand c'est bon?
Tell me when it's good.
Ok pour moi.
Let it out, Eric.
Ok. Allez. Alors attends, tu prends-moi sec.
I
Prends-moi
need
sec.
the rope to be tense.
Prends tension dessus.
No slack, Eric.
Ok. Ne donne pas de mou, Eric.
Okay, good. Let it out.
Ok. Vas-y.
Go, let me down slowly.
Descends-moi doucement.
Sebastian has to be extremely cautious. Slowly,
Doucement,
slowly.
Doucement, doucement. Ouais.
The key is not to cause more snow or ice to fall onto the victim.
Ok Mike. On
We'll be in
communique
touch by radio with Seb.
Ouais, ouais. Are you okay?
Yeah, my leg, I'm getting weak. I can't feel my right leg.
Okay. You believe it's broken?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't feel it.
Okay.
And I don't have any gloves on.
Ok, Eric, je suis à 5 mètres de lui. 5
I'm 5 meters from him,
Ouais,
Eric.
c'est bien pris.
Going well.
Ok, Michael.
Sebastian keeps talking to see how conscious he is.
Do you remember your name?
Michael,
Yes. Where you live?
yes.
Where?
Sweden.
Do you remember what you do this morning?
Skiing Gala Blanche.
Ok. 3 mètres, Eric, 3 mètres.
3 meters, Eric, 3 meters.
That's soft snow.
Which legs is right? Okay. Okay, top, Eric.
Stop, Eric, stop.
The harness is ripping into my crotch.
Ouais, je t'écoute, Eric.
I'm listening, Eric.
Je vais me mettre au
I'm
niveau
going to
de
get
la
to the
mer.
level of the
Je
rise.
te fais passer
I'll
le
send down the
fil,
pulley and the
ouais,
winch, and then we'll
prendra
take up the
tension sur le
slack.
treuil.
Ouais, c'est bien. Bon, faut
Good.
tirer dans l'axe de.
You have to pull on the axis of the other rope, because if I try to pull on my axis, it hurts him because his ski is injuring his leg. Seb, I'm sending down the pulley.
Ok, top, Eric.
Okay, go, Eric.
I will tell to my friend to go very slowly, okay? Don't. If you want to, this one, okay? But not this one. Ouais, Eric de Seb, c'est ok la victime.
Seb
mais,
to Eric. Okay, the victim is attached to the pulley.
Écoute, on attaque.
Listen, we're going to
là.
pull.
Top, c'est parti. Top, c'est
Okay,
parti.
go.
Ok, commencez doucement, hein?
Start slowly, guys.
Okay. You say me, Michael. It's very important, okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Good. It's okay? Ok, c'est bon, Eric.
It's
il est
good,
libre,
Eric.
Tu peux tirer
He's
comme
free.
ça
You can
jusqu'en
pull away like
Ok,
that
c'est
all the
bon,
way.
tirer comme ça jusqu'en haut.
Oh, this is killing me.
haut. Just a minute. Stand up in your harness because
Can't.
So, put on your foot. It's okay, Mike?
Yes.
Ok, là, il a...
Just another 3 meters, I can see him.
Est-ce que ça va?
Are you okay?
Pousse avec tes jambes.
Push
avec
with your
tes
legs.
jambes, si tu peux.
Push with your legs if you can.
Stop, les gars, stop.
Stop, guys.
Parce que là, il y a la poulie
The
qui va
pulley's
se
going to
prendre
get
dans
caught
le
up in
bordel,
that tangle there.
Faut aider, faut aider.
là. Faut aider, ouais.
You need to help out here.
Ok, 10 millions.
Go.
Give me your hand.
Doucement, doucement, doucement. Vas-y, vas-y, vas-y.
Pull,
Comme
pull.
ça, tranquillement, on va sortir.
Okay,
Ouais.
slowly.
Doucement,
Trappe la
touche à
ventre,
rien.
trappe la ventre, trappe la ventre.
Voilà,
Gently on your stomach.
Sa jambe d'abîmer.
C'est bon.
That way he won't hurt his leg
Vas-y,
anymore.
C'est bon, c'est bon.
That's good.
Ça roule. On va le sortir.
Okay,
on le
well
monte bien,
done.
on le monte bien.
We'll get you out in a minute. Good.
Attends.
It's okay, Mike? Voilà, c'est pas mal là.
Voilà, c'est bon. Stop.
Stop. Alors, réponds juste à
Just
mes questions,
answer my
ce que
questions.
je lui pose comme question. Là, est-ce qu'il sent, est-ce que ça va là?
Is this okay?
Can you feel?
Ici,
Can you feel?
Yeah.
ok? Il peut bouger?
Can he move?
Can you move your leg? That leg?
Celle-ci.
Move the leg.
Ok, très bien. Cordial de crampon Tintin sur Elbronner.
Cordial de crampon Drona. Victim is now out of the crevasse.
Indemne.
He's fine, apart from his crotch that hurts a little because of the harness.
Jambe à cause de la tension du baudrier.
Sebastian is the next to resurface. The operation took barely 20 minutes, which is just as well, as the Swede was beginning to get seriously cold. He emerges otherwise unscathed. When you guys are together, you get a real sense of teamwork. Well, you have to have that. This sort of terrain is unforgiving, so it's crucial to have a good understanding and to be able to trust your colleagues. That's why we're a great team.
C'est ce qui fait un peu la solidarité du groupe.
And the team is the PGHM, the Gendarmerie High Mountain Platoon. 250 rescue specialists across France, but with 50 deployed in the Chamonix Valley alone. It's an elite group, and many have given their own lives in an attempt to save those of others. Training lasts 3 years. PGHM Chamonix. In the middle of summer, there is an average of 20 emergency calls a day. This one comes in from a cell phone. It's 5 p.m. and a man and his 16-year-old son are lost high up in the mountains.
Allez, c'est parti.
The rescuers have a rough idea of where the two lost climbers might be. They had set off despite warnings of extreme weather conditions. There's a thick bank of cloud, and in the mountains, lightning is a killer. Richard, what's your mission exactly? Well, first we need to weigh up the situation. For me, since I'm flying, the key will be the weather reports, because the stormy conditions mean there'll be a lot of wind. The point being is to bring everyone back down to safety. They know the two men are on a ridge. And two silhouettes do indeed appear. It's midsummer and the ridge isn't the most difficult obstacle, but the storm could make conditions hellish. I see two of them. Looks like they're signaling. On board the chopper is just one rescuer, Nicolas. I would suggest that to avoid blowing them about too much, we should winch you down a few dozen meters first. Okay, no problem. I can easily reach them. Can I open the door? The ridge is barely a meter wide, and on either side some sheer drops. Keeping the helicopter steady in all the wind is no easy task. I'm signaling them to stay where they are. Go. I'll lower you down, and then secure you. Okay, go. Has he passed the runners? Go left 1 meter. The pilot can't see what's happening right underneath. His mechanic acts as his eyes.
Ok, sécurité en gauche, très bon.
Safety on. It's fine.
Ok, il est au sol.
Okay, he's on the ground.
Il se décroche.
He's getting unhooked.
Et il me fait
Signaling.
décollage.
Okay, take off. Nicolas knows he has to be quick. The two silhouettes visible on the ridge could attract lightning at any time.
Bonjour. Enlevez
Hello,
votre sac.
take off the bag.
Enlevez votre sac.
Take off the bag.
Ok, j'ai le crochet à 2 mètres sous le patin.
I've got the hook. It's 2 meters below the runner now.
7 mètres de...
Fine, we've got 7 or 8 meters of cable. Go forward. 3, 2, 1. Okay, in the front. They have the hook. He's hooking up. Left one. He's hooked up. Cable is tense. Hump speed forward 1.
Ok, contrôle puissance, c'est bon?
Power control, all right? Yes, all is fine. Fine, then you can release.
Tu peux décoller ou tu veux...
Clear to take off. They're at the level of the runners already.
Ok,
They're at cabin level. Okay.
Allez, je les
I'm making them safe.
Il y en a un qui a la
One of them is very shaken up.
Ouais, il y en a un, il a l'air
Yes,
stressé.
he looks stressed.
Allez, je le rentre en premier. Ouais, c'est
I'll
le
bring
jeune.
him in first.
Ouais, je fais un
Yes,
large
it's the
cercle.
youngster.
Je te laisse le temps.
I'll circle wide, give you time.
Voilà, le deuxième.
And there's the
je le
second,
rentre.
bringing him in too. Both are secured,
Ok, ils sont tous les deux
unhooked.
sécurisés, décrochés.
They get Nicolas back up, and the helicopter is soon heading for the valley.
Ça s'est bien passé,
How
là?
did it go?
C'est bien passé, tout
Went
va
well.
bien.
Everyone's
Ils
fine.
vont pas prendre un orage
They
de
won't
plus.
get into another storm.
On va dire qu'on était
They'll
perdu.
say we were lost.
T'es perdu.
Were you lost?
On avait
Well, we were unsure which direction to take.
trop d'hésitation sur la bonne direction à prendre.
Votre petit garçon.
How's your boy? Is he better now?
Voilà, il était.
Yes, he's still very upset.
Ça va, jeune?
Okay, kid? Feel better down here?
Mieux que là-haut? Voilà. C'est bon. Merci. Bon, qu'est-ce qui vous est arrivé?
So what happened?
Plus moralement, psychologiquement, j'étais
I just didn't have the moral strength. Psychologically, I was a little lost.
au bout du rouleau.
I couldn't go on, and I was at the end of my tether.
S'il est plus gros.
You're lucky it all ended well, because the storm was right on top of you on the ridge.
Une nuit sur l'arête.
Ah, mais surtout que.
Otherwise, you'd have had to spend the night up there. And any lightning up there is very dangerous.
Passer la nuit dehors ou...
Did you have what you needed for a night up there?
Pas du tout de sac de couchage.
Nothing. No sleeping bag, no bivouac, so we would have been very cold that night.
On aurait peut-être eu quand même assez froid pendant la nuit. Merci beaucoup.
So, thanks very much. During the week, the Civil Defense helicopter leads the rescue efforts. Its code name is Dragon. A call informs them that 2 men have fallen into a crevasse in the Vallée Blanche. They have a rough idea of where it is, but no eyewitness to guide them more accurately. Jean-François Mercier is in charge of the rescue. His first task is to find the crevasse. It's already 6:30 p.m. and daylight is running out. The caller is of little help in identifying the location where they are. But they suddenly have a stroke of amazing luck. There's a solitary ski down there. Look, a ski at 3 o'clock. The ski had to be spotted and not mistaken for a crevasse. Can you winch me down to make sure the conditions aren't too bad? And there's a second clue. There are footsteps leading from the ski to the mouth of the crevasse. Can you lower me a little into the crevasse? There has to be a great deal of trust in the pilot to be asked to be winched by helicopter into a crevasse. The slightest error could be disastrous. Wait, put me down on the side. by the side of the skis. Come in, Dragon. We need to find out if there's someone in the hole. We'll check the crevasse and let you know.
Ouais! Oh! How are you? Vous parlez français?
Do you speak French?
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
What happened?
Tout va bien?
Is everything all right?
Quelqu'un est blessé?
Anyone hurt? My ankle's broken.
Ok. Elles sont approximativement
They're about 20 meters below the surface, so I'm going to need backup, a second team. Jean-Francois cannot get them out by himself. 3 other rescuers will help to extract the imprudent victims. We're going to check below whether we can get one straight away. Here, take this.
T'es prêt, Matt?
Are you ready, Matt? Are you roped?
Ok.
Matt is Mathieu, who will be going down first.
Ok.
Damn, that was quite a fall they took. 20 meters down, and the first glimpse of a man in a red helmet. This way, my friend's hurt. Where? He can't breathe very well. 2 meters further down, the injured man is on his back, covered in snow and unable to move much. Does he have a pain anywhere, or is he just stuck and having trouble breathing? He can't really breathe or move much. Right. Okay. Right, so there's one who's been hurt and sitting on a section of ice. He seems to have a broken leg, and the other is stuck and finding it hard to breathe. I'll see if I can get him out on my own. Julio, another rescuer, joins Mathieu in the crevasse. Jean-Francois begins to figure out what probably happened. The tracks begin about a dozen meters or so uphill, and then they had a bit of luck because they avoided the first hole, but they fell into the second one, and when I just arrived, I could see the 2 skis side by side right here. So I think the first one fell into the crevasse, and his colleague then arrived and fell in after him himself. His colleague is like a cork in a bottle. He's stuck, and the one with the broken leg is right next to me. He's okay. Wait, is he holding his head up straight? His head's leaning forward. Careful, he might go deeper. Okay, he's ready to be carried out. Okay, we'll get him out and check him. Hey, all right? Come on, my man, push with your feet.
Allez.
Go. Go on, my son.
Encore, tu tires à ma jambe. Voilà, allez. Allez. Allez, ok. Allez, go fast. Ouais, Dragon. Allez, mon gars. Voilà. Attends, je vais le sécuriser.
Hang on, let me get you secure.
Ouais.
We need to send the rope down to the other team.
À l'autre équipe. Are you okay now?
Where are you injured? Your leg? Broken?
A broken leg, possibly. But the one who's still stuck below seems to be worse off. The helicopter has taken the first climber, and in a few minutes it'll be nightfall. Visibility will be 0.
Alors le mec il est là. Allez. Quand t'avances encore un peu, Richard, avance encore un peu. Voilà, c'est bon. Ok, au moins le grappé, ça va le faire. Ok, il est à l'intérieur. Le gars. Ok, tu peux dégager.
The second man is still down there.
Parle à la radio, Matt.
Allez, en double, vous pouvez tirer là. On le sort, On le sort.
On le sort de la crevasse, correct?
Inside the hole, Matt has succeeded in getting the second man tethered to the rope that's attached to the winch on top. But when they begin to hoist him up, his leg is held fast. What's happening down there? Well, we have the other person, but he's hurt, and the rescuers are having some trouble getting him unstuck. The trouble is we can't get anyone down there to help. The space is too small. So the two guys are using their pickaxes to try and dig him out from the pile of ice. It takes them more than an hour to dig the man free. Come on, we need to get out. Come on, we've done it.
Ouais, Matt, tu veux qu'on descende ou qu'on...
Matt, do you want us to go up or down? Go on, pull, up. Just need to pull you up. Give me your hand. After 3 hours stuck in the ice, the man's temperature has fallen and he's hypothermic.
Allez. Ouais, allez. Récupération de la personne immédiate, récupération.
Emergency pickup, emergency pickup.
Ok, mon gars, ça va?
All right, my lad, can you hear me? Are you okay?
Ça va?
You're fine. I'm fine. The helicopter will be here in 5 minutes, then we'll get you out of here.
Ok? Et après on t'emmène.
It's 9:30, and the two men were incredibly lucky. If one of their skis hadn't been spotted, they would probably have died in the crevasse. So why do you like your job so much? Why I like my work? Well, I love the mountains, and then helping people like this, I think there's no nobler mission. A climbing accident calls out the rescue team. In the middle of this route up, 3 climbers have been caught by a rockfall. One of the climbers has serious injuries to both hands. The climb is difficult, and without his hands, the injured man cannot move. Guys, he's been hit by a rock, so there's a rock fall. Be careful and don't get hit. We'll need to leave plenty of room, and since they were climbing, we'll need to make sure that they're all secured. If there's anyone climbing above them, they'll need to stop. We'll signal them not to loosen any stones or throw down a rope. If there are ropes along the route, they shouldn't tighten them, just hold on to them. So there are a few risks here. Right, so we're almost there. I can see something there where the small overhang is. I'll try and get somewhat higher to avoid the downdraft dislodging the smaller rocks. Get Mathieu ready. He's at the door, roped up and hooked up. I'm letting him out. He's outside. Permission to use winch. Go ahead. I'm lowering him. He's past the runner. I'm going real slowly, forward 30 meters. For this rescue, the pilot is taking some risks. Left 2 meters. Close now to the rock face. Forward 10 meters. But don't ever touch it. Forward 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. He's on top now. Left 1 meter. That's good. The helicopter's blades are barely 2 meters from the rocks. Okay, he's getting there. They've grabbed it. 1 meter left. He's secured. He's unhooking. The slightest swerve could spell disaster. Can you go back? It's free behind. We've got to get up to 25 meters. Get the gear, hook it up.
Donc en fait,
So 3 fingers have had it. They must have been hit by a large rock, and
quand il y a qu'une grosse
I
écaille.
must definitely have been holding on to it or something.
Ok.
Okay.
Ok, à ce niveau-là. D'accord.
En fait, ça m'a fait
I think I made 3 large marks there and here.
Elle n'est pas tombée, t'as juste.
It fell. It didn't crush your fingers.
Non, non, non.
Can you feel anything? Yes, I can.
Ouais, au niveau des doigts, t'as.
Do you have feeling in all your fingers? Yes, I can still feel all my fingers. It didn't hit you? What about your head? Were you thrown backwards? You had no injury? Nothing.
On va se faire treuiller à deux.
Okay, we'll both be winched up now, so put the bag between your legs, and when we take off, spread your legs out. To qualify as members of the Gendarmerie's Mountain Rescue Platoon, volunteers undergo a rigorous 3-year period of training. Chief Warrant Officer David Raspouille originally had never thought about a career in the gendarmerie or rescue services. Why do you do this job, David?
C'est lié à.
It was a result of an experience I had while doing my national service with a gendarme in Chamonix.
Et au bout de cette
And after a week, I decided to ditch my plans for university because it was a fantastic experience. The idea that it's not for money, but it's a service. To give without questioning it.
Une notion de service.
That's why I do this.
On donne sans compter. Et voilà pourquoi je fais ce métier.
And it's a job that can be terribly frustrating. Days such as these are difficult for the rescue services. High winds at altitude mean gusts of more than 100 kilometers an hour. The helicopters are grounded. At the gendarmerie, the men are anxious. Some climbers are reportedly in trouble near Mont Blanc. 4 people have disappeared since last night. We can't go, there's too much wind, and that's a huge problem. It's 4,000 meters up, and there's no way to get there on foot. 2 young couples are missing, hemmed in by the storm on the way down from a successful ascent the day before. They sent out an SOS at 10 that morning, but the weather prevented any rescue flights. There's a very strong wind, and the forecast is that it'll stay strong this afternoon, which is not good news.
C'est quand même pas terrible, hein?
At noon, there's a development.
Oui, donc je vous écoute. Oui, donc là vous y êtes vraiment au col supérieur.
The warden of a mountain refuge informs the gendarme that 2 of the 4 climbers have reached the shelter. But the 2 others, however, physically weaker, are still stuck in the storm, 400 meters above the refuge. In theory, we've got 2 of the 4 accounted for and alive, which is good, but we're still worried about the other 2. The 2 who reached the shelter say their friends are alive, but stuck on the mountain slopes, tired and unable to move. The 2 are alive, but they're exhausted. They can't go any further. When they left them, they were incapable of moving. How long ago was that? Well, since they started walking today. The weather settles a little. Denis, the pilot, and David decide to risk it. Denis will try and drop David off near the 2 stranded climbers. David, you'll be dropped off on the bare mountain alone. Yes, there's the risk of being left out there, but that decision will be taken based on what Denis says and what I judge to be the situation on site. Up there is the Dôme de Goûter, where the 2 young climbers are believed to be. 4,000 meters up and temperatures of 10 below zero made even colder by the wind. Take a look down there and let's see what it's like and make sure there are no bodies or signs. I can see nothing, neither can I. Let me get a little closer. What's that down there? All the way down there, look. It looks like people. In that dip there? In fact, their sharp eyes have spotted ski poles by a small mound of snow. They suspect the climbers might have dug themselves inside to avoid the deadly glacial winds. David wants to go down and check. Are you going to try a dry run? Yes, it's to see if there's a way through, if I can fly at that height, if it's not too turbulent. But conditions are very turbulent and the gusts shake the helicopter. Well, Denny, let me just say that I don't think my life's in danger. Well, I realize that, but I don't want to risk putting us all in danger. I'm not sure how we'll get down there. God damn, it's too unstable. Fine, Dennis, let's stop there then. For now, it's not feasible. The rescuers are upset, but there's little they can do. They know that for every minute that passes is one less chance of saving the two climbers. The fact is that they're at 4,500 meters up, and at that altitude the effects can be potentially fatal. It's high-altitude cerebral and pulmonary edema. We know they're suffering from that because the last people that saw them at 10 o'clock this morning said the woman was delirious and the other was incapable of getting up. So these are the typical effects of altitude sickness, cerebral edema. And since we think they haven't moved at all and they're still at that altitude, it's likely they are worse off now than when they were this morning. They could be in a coma by now. At best, it's just a coma.
Oui, je vous écoute.
Were you the ones in the chopper? By the end of the afternoon, they consult the Italian rescue teams in the Val d'Aosta, and their helicopter, which is more powerful than the French, has been overflying the dome, and they believe they can cope with the high winds. So check if they're still there, and if we can, do anything. The doctor will give David a machine that can detect even the faintest sign of life in patients suffering from hypothermia or in a coma. You put it like that. Can you hear that? Let me see. Okay, there is a sound, yeah.
Okay.
Good. Where David wants the Italian helicopter to set him down is very close to the border, and the rescue teams from both sides are used to working together. After a few minutes' flight to the place he'd spotted before, David and Claudio, an Italian rescuer, are winched down. The event is recorded by the camera on David's helmet. A few meters away, the ski poles.
Tiens.
Quelle personne?
Two people, a man and a woman. Maybe they're right next to each other to keep warm. Courier for David on the MIDI needle message, we have located the victims, deceased. Claudio finds the second body. There's no doubt, unfortunately. David realizes his machine to detect signs of life can serve no purpose.
Comment tu veux faire?
Right, how do we do this?
Alors,
Well, you climb back up with the first and pull him to the helicopter.
dans l'hélico.
Then you throw down the winch and I'll bring the other one up.
Et on y va.
The gusts of wind are still powerful. The helicopter is buffeted, but on the dome they have plenty of room. At headquarters that night, the men and women of the gendarmerie rescue teams look overwhelmed.
Ouais, sentiment d'échec, mais...
It's a feeling we've failed, but mainly it's sadness thinking of their families.
Moi, le sentiment d'échec...
Personally, I don't feel we totally failed in the sense that we were already beaten even before we arrived on the scene.
Quand j'arrive, c'est déjà fini.
Since the beginning of the year, 1,110 people have been saved by the Chamonix rescue teams. There were 38 others for whom nothing could be done.